All right, YouTubers, this video is going to be about why I chose a leisure travel Class B. First of all, there's many different kinds of RVs out there, and there's many different brands and styles and layouts of Class Bs. I also want to start out by saying I am not trying to offend or say your RV might not be as good or any junk like that, so everybody just take a breath. It's just more of trying to figure out the decision process on what RV might be best for you. So, travel trailer is always an option. I used to have a pretty good sized boat that I pulled with a Suburban, so towing stuff isn't that difficult. You get used to it, it's not that hard. But there are things about towing a travel trailer that are just sometimes a pain. So I didn't really want to do that. Like just getting into a gas station with a trailer can sometimes be aggravating. But I do miss that boat. Okay, so when I was really starting to think of buying an RV, my idea was going to be a Class C. I went and looked at some Class Cs and did all that kind of good stuff. And they're nice, but I realized they weren't really for me. Basically gas mileage. It came to, I wanted to do a lot of driving and a lot of going places, and I turned to a Class B because I wanted the better gas mileage. So I started looking at a lot of Class Bs. First of all, I'm not a rich person, so buying new wasn't an option for me. And to be honest, I think there's great value to be found in used Class Bs. I've had this one about 5 years. So I looked at a ton of different RVs. I test drove some Road Treks. I test drove a Pleasureway, a couple different Rialtas, which I liked. But all of them, there was either something wrong with that particular one, or there were things about it that I just didn't like. Then I saw a leisure travel somewhere, not this one, that I liked, so I started looking harder and harder for a leisure travel. So it comes down to what's the deciding factors for you. For me, number one was a bed. There are times I wish that I could do the whole van thing, do a van conversion. But, I got to be honest, I'm not 21 anymore. And I really just wanted to be able to stand up. And that was another reason that a Class B worked for me. I'm 5'10", so I don't have any height issues that some people would have in a Class B. And actually, one of the good things I like about this is one of the widest interiors that I've seen. There's a point where it's 28 inches wide in the little galley, and another point where it's 30, which is better than most new Class Bs. But let me get back to the point. So number one reason, I wanted that bed. And when I saw this one, the original configuration is a fold-down bed. This is the original bed setup that you would have found in a 99 leisure travel. And this one they had put twin beds in. This is what it looked like when I first got it. They did a lot of work for me, a good start. Now, I didn't fit in those twin beds. The one on the passenger side, I didn't fit at all. And the one on the driver's side, I could mostly fit and only had to pull my feet up a little bit. But I knew getting into it that wasn't what I was going to keep. So I went and got a real bed. Plus that setup, the bed was just too skinny. This is a real bed and it works great. But it was pretty simple. It's just a piece of plywood under there. Just some scrap stuff and it works fine. And next on my list was storage. I wanted some actual decent storage, which isn't as easy as you think. But this leisure travel, it's got some serious storage. I'm going to show you some of that now. This is the basement of my Class B. It measures 3 feet by 3 feet and 15 inches deep. For a Class B, it's massive. Propane grill. I swap things out depending on the trip I'm on, and I never run out of room. Inside that bag was ball and glove. So for those that think there's just not enough room, I don't know what else you need. This goes all the way through, so we'll see how long it is. I'm talking 80 inches. So in the side compartment, I put like 3 long chairs, all the long stuff. On the other side, I put the hose and electrical. I mean, there's all the room you could need. Still got all that storage. So there you go. There's plenty of storage. And for Class Bs, I really do think that Leisure Travel does a fantastic job on storage, inside and outside. So you get the standard swivel chairs and a bunch of different table options up front. You get all the kitchen stuff like a normal RV, and in the back end, there's just really great storage. This RV has fantastic storage, with still tons of space under the bed. So something else that seems silly is I wanted a back door that opened, just because it's easier to get things in and out. And not all Class Bs have a back door that opens. It might sound silly, but it's really helpful. And I mean, I got to use it to make the bed sometimes. So next, which will probably open me up for, it's all personal preference. Again, and much of this is personal preference, but I wanted a Dodge. And I specifically wanted the 5.9 liter V8. I think they're a good engine. They've been making them forever. Maintenance is easier because there's so many of them. Parts and all that, I thought in the long run it would be a good choice. Diesels can be great, but I really didn't want to go the diesel route. It's more expensive to put in the gas tank, and maintenance from everything you hear can be a pain. So the Dodge is what I also wanted. The next consideration became the bathroom. And again, this is also, almost all this stuff is just personal preference. But you have a wet bath, or you have like this has with the shower in the aisle. I don't always shower in this, but when I do, I honestly think for me, I like the use of space with the smaller shower area than a bigger wet bath. I just thought it was a better use of the space. It takes 5 minutes to set up the shower. It's no big deal. I wanted a generator, and this has one. Just a small Onan 2800. And I also like that it's in the front. It's up near the driver's seat in the RV and not back under the bed. Although I've never really run the generator while I'm sleeping. But I think it's good to have a generator. Then a big deal for me came down to how many seats do I need in this RV? When you look at a lot of different layouts, you can have a seat behind the drivers, and you can even have a fourth seat. I just didn't see any need for that. Most of the time, it's just me in here. I didn't want that waste of space, so I only wanted 2 seats. From my research and now experience, I will say the build quality on Leisure Travels is as good as it gets. And then it just came down to the other options out there. The Road Treks, the Pleasureways, all the other Class Bs. There's nothing wrong with them. But to me, it comes down to you find what you like. And after all this time, there's honestly nothing I really want to change about this RV. You know, if I could put a slide in it, yay, that would be awesome. But, you know, I'm not going to put a slide in it. But I think the use of space in these Leisure Travels is about as good as you get. And we can say all the things about personal preference, this, that, whatever it might be. But let's break it down. It's money. You know, what can you afford? Some of the brand new Class Bs, nice. But I can't spend that money. And I don't see the value in that money. Again, I bought this before the pricing all went crazy, and I got this RV for about $15,000. And I could probably sell it double that now. So if you're out there looking for a Class B, new ones, they're going to scare you to death on what they cost. And even the old ones, this is 18 years old, even the old ones are going to cost you more money than you really wish they would. But that's the market. Once I got to the decision of, okay, I want a Class B, just an overall Class B benefit is they're small. There's not a campground you can't get into. There's easy to drive. You know, they fit in a normal parking spot. And there's just a lot of advantages. And for me, I love my Leisure Travel. I think it's the greatest Class B you can buy. But I'm not in here all the time. I'm usually outside. So if you're a person that wants to be outside, a small Class B is just a room with a view, and then you're off exploring. That's how I looked at it. My Class B, my Leisure Travel Class B, is probably my favorite thing I have ever bought in my entire life. I hope it's got 20 more years in it. and I'm going to do all I can to keep it that way. But from the layout, the storage, the gas mileage, I always get 15 miles to the gallon. And there have been times on some highway driving where if I've run a full tank and things are in my favor, I've gotten 17 miles a gallon in this thing. That's not the norm, but I consistently get 15 miles a gallon. And for me and my budget and the way I'm living, gas mileage was important and fuel cost was important in my decision. And I just think if you're getting ready, if you're thinking about what you might like to buy, you can't do enough research. You can't see enough different things. Find out what you like. Find out your must-haves and what you live without if you find something that, man, that's pretty close, but not everything. But if you see one of these wonderful leisure travel Class Bs out there for sale on Craigslist, on RV Trader, wherever you might find it, don't wait. If it's what you want, jump on it and go. When I bought this, again, about 5 years ago, I looked and test drove probably 12 different RVs. And like I said in the beginning, I saw a leisure travel that I really liked, but that particular one had issues. This one was at a Camping World. I'm in Dayton, Ohio, and I drove about 600 miles to Springfield, Missouri to buy this RV. It all worked out great. I found a really cheap one-way rental car, and I got out there and told them, if it's all you say it is, it's mine. If it's not, I'll drive the rental car back. And I know a lot of people also don't like Camping World. They treated me great. They put brand new tires on it, and I couldn't have been happier with my purchase at that particular place. RV dealerships are like car dealerships. They are what they are. So this RV, Cousin Eddie I call him, really is that story of it was owned by a little old couple. And even though I got it at Camping World, I know it was because this part's a little bit sad. But when I went to register it, I had to contact Camping World again, and they had to send me a death certificate. And it was sad, but they were a little old couple. So I think once you've done your research and you decided what you want, find the one that fits for you. And be patient. Like I said, I had to go a really long way to get this, but I was searching for a good 10 months. I mean, almost on a daily basis, I was on the internet scouring and searching for a leisure travel. So if a leisure travel's not for you, which I think you're wrong, I mean, they're the best Class Bs without a doubt. But whatever one might be right for you, don't get discouraged. They are out there. They're a little bit more expensive now than they were 5 years ago, but there are still good ones out there, and don't lose hope. I hope that was helpful. That was just my priority list and what I was looking for in a Class B. Find your own priority list. And just be patient and stick to it. And I'm telling you, I couldn't be happier. And, one other thing I forgot when I was going through my list of what I liked about it. I love that the interior of this RV is white. I know it's something simple, but it just opens up the space so much. A lot of the other ones, the Road Treks that I got in, they were dark brown and it just felt closed in. And visually, the white interior opens it up, and the inside of the leisure travel is a little bit wider. This wide body, they're not lying. Again, I'm 5'10", my bed's across the back, and I fit perfect. I've probably rambled too long. I always do. Hopefully, I stayed on topic a little bit, and I just hope that there's some little bit of help to this. For whatever RV you might be looking for, again, get a leisure travel. You'll be so happy. But they're out there. Keep looking. And there's not much better than getting in something like this and chasing dreams, whatever they might be. Mine is getting out in nature. But whatever you want to use one of these for, you're living in a city, whatever you want to do with it, they're really flexible. And it's a great way to go. And keep in mind, a leisure travel has everything that a big RV has. It's just smaller, more compact. more efficient. Look at the positives. And you can easily carry a camping chair and sit outside just like you can in a larger RV. And I'll also say, honestly, when I'm out and about, I think more people come look at my RV than they do bigger RVs, and in many cases more than they do the more expensive Class Bs. They're a great way to go. I hope it was helpful, and I hope those of you looking, the best of luck on finding one of those gems that's still out there, and those of you that have something, I hope you're enjoying that RV as best you can. Have a great and wonderful day.